Welcome back. Now, more favorable equity market conditions have given PSG Financial Services a boost. The group has reported a near 25% rise in annual recurring headline earnings per share, and shareholders are reaping the benefit in a 24% hike in the total dividend. Company CFO Mike Smith joins us with his assessment of the performance. Thank you so much for your time, Mark. Mike, another year of an earnings lift. Just to characterize this level of growth that you have seen in this reporting period.
Thanks, Natalie. Look, one of the key drivers of our revenue growth is our consistent growth in client assets under management. So during this period, the wealth business attracted just over 20 billion of positive net client flows, asset management over 4 billion. Plus, we had also good market movement, positive market growth as well. So really, the average value of our client assets increased quite nicely during this period. And that's one of the key drivers of our revenue. We continue to invest a lot during this period. So, our IT costs were up just under 19% during the year. So, I think as we continue to build improved capabilities and efficiencies to allow advisors to be able to execute and provide the services that one would want. So I think, the sustained investment that we've made over a long period of time there has allowed us to deliver pleasing results.
And it's quite interesting that you note that one of the drivers that fueled that positive performance is the favorable or more favorable equity markets. What strategies have worked for you within the equity space?
Yeah, so I think our client assets are well diversified across the asset classes and local and offshore. Particularly the JSE performed a lot better during this current reporting period, which has been a positive. We've had fairly anemic growth in the JSE All Share Index for a number of years. So to get that positive uplift has played a positive result for us as well. Actually, the JSE did better than the S&P 500 this year in rand terms.
All right. And just with your insurance business, is there anything to note there in terms of that positive performance?
Yeah, I think what one's seen a bit of a repricing in the insurance market, take into account events there. I think we also well managed our underwriting practices during the year. Less severe cat events. So I think positive growth in premiums and good underwriting results is what drove that. And then also slightly higher investment returns on our shareholder funds took place during this period because of the high interest rates and more favorable equity market conditions. So all of those played a positive role.
All right. Mike, you mentioned that the JSE had previously seen anemic growth, and actually it performed quite well in this reporting period. And PSG Financial Services is a self-proclaimed proudly South African company, but that doesn't mean that economic growth or the economic and operating environment are really conducive to sustained growth for businesses. So how are you reading the prospects of the economy as things stand?
So, I think the overall operating conditions are challenging because we've seen very low economic growth, high unemployment rates, etc. I think we fortunately got small market shares, so opportunity to gain market share and grow despite tough conditions. And if you look at our 10-year results, we've achieved sequential growth over all of these difficult periods. So it's been focused on our key strategy, executing and implementing that during the period. I think consistent investment in IT and systems and process improvements there. So all of those have helped us to achieve the growth that we delivered.
Well, in terms of solving the issues within the country, PSG Financial Services has also highlighted its Think Big SA competition. What stood out for you there in terms of your role as a financial institution in bridging gaps?
Yeah, so I think it's very useful to get thought leaders and positive new insights and that. So I think it's by sharing ideas that we can hopefully play a positive role in improving the economic conditions and that. So I think if you look at South Africa, I mean, overachieved probably in the ideology aspect, but has been poor when it's been to execution and implementation of meaningful change there. So, I think one needs to focus on policies that are going to achieve economic growth, because without that, very difficult to create additional employment and really solve the problems in the country from a long-term perspective.
Yeah.
If you look at a high level of the country's expenditure has been on salaries and grants, etc., which has resulted in an underinvestment on infrastructure and long-term projects, which, I think if one looks at one's had ran budget deficits for a long period of time, the increase in debt
Yeah.
and the debt servicing costs takes up a substantial portion of the budget. So that's why I think, it's important that the country looks at optimizing some of that spend so that we can achieve long-term growth for the country and
Yeah.
investing sufficient in infrastructure and an enabling environment, I think, for businesses to be able to accelerate and achieve long-term growth and prosperity for everyone.
Yeah, and really what we need is for all sectors of the economy to contribute to boosting the economy. Just lastly, as we wrap up the conversation, Mike, I mean, it's not just about the South African economy. We're also vulnerable to the ever-changing global economic policies as well. We know what is going on with the impact of the US. Have you picked up any nervousness from your clients, anything that are keeping them up at night in terms of the geopolitical volatility?
I think it has raised, I think, concerns, etc. But I think where our clients' assets are well diversified across different asset classes, they've seen the sort of investment returns that they've been able to earn over multiple cycles and that. I think they realize the importance of staying invested, focus on your long-term plan and that. That's where they've used a business like PSG to navigate through those markets, position it, and continuously monitor different events. I think, and that's where we've been quite well placed to be able to deliver that performance despite sometimes challenging environment.
Yeah, and indeed, investors are looking for investments and portfolios that can stand solidly and firmly through the cycles. Thank you so much for your time and for your insights there, Mike. That was Mike Smith, CFO of PSG Financial Services.